Success comes with hard work, dedication, perseverance, and more importantly, being committed and having a passion for what you do. It is these qualities that I would use to describe this year's Distinguished American Awardee, Bob Casciola. Bob has dedicated much of his life to the promotion and betterment of football. Since his arrival at our organization in 1991, the foundation has grown immensely. Programs have been launched and succeeded. Membership has exploded, and through his tireless efforts as a leader and motivator, the foundation is prepared to continue upholding football's rich tradition. Prior to joining the foundation, Bob was an all-Ivy League tackle for Princeton University. He was coached for 20 years at Dartmouth and Connecticut, was head coach at both Connecticut and Princeton. He went on to become a successful banker with the First Fidelity Bank of New Jersey, and later served as executive vice president and chief operating officer of the New Jersey Nets. Even though his profession took him away from football, Bob found ways to stay directly involved with the game. He served as a member of the selection committee of the Garden State Bowl and the executive committee of the Kickoff Classic. He broadcast football games for Princeton, the New Jersey Generals, Rutgers, Ivy League schools, and great independent football teams. And for 14 years, he coordinated the coaching at the national known quarterback receiver camps. With his retirement at the end of this year, we will lose a great ambassador for college football. His 14 years with the foundation have seen much change and will leave a lasting legacy on both the foundation and the game of football. He helped orchestrate the development of our highly successful Play It Smart program, the NFF Coaching Academy, the opening of the Hall of Fame in South Bend, Indiana, and the NFF Center for Youth Development at Springfield College. He truly believes in the power of amateur football, and his efforts have struck at the core of our mission, developing strong relationships with key football organizations and mobilizing them to benefit the game and society. Bob, it is my pleasure to present you with the Distinguished American Award. The inscription on the medal reads, 2004 Distinguished American Award, Robert F. Casciola, a man with faith and vision beyond the chalk marks of a football sideline. Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John, for those kind words, and thank you for the last 13 years. Your leadership and friendship, along with the support of our proactive board of directors, has made my job a very rewarding experience. Tonight is a very special evening as we recognize our scholar athletes, our major award winners, and the 2004 class of Hall of Famers. I congratulate all of you. And I specifically congratulate my good friend Bill Campbell. Bill Campbell receiving the gold medal tonight. Bill Campbell epitomizes everything we stand for in the foundation, even though on October 9th, 1976, in a driving hurricane, he forced my Princeton team to play Columbia because he was the home team and he was the home manager. Bill, I never forgot that. For a guy with a passion for the game and knows no rounds and bounds, insisted on us playing. Thank you for that game, Billy. Thank you very much. Willis Reed. Willis Reed I hired as the head coach of the New Jersey Nets. And when he read my bio and saw the football background, he said, you know, I was an all-state end at Bernice, Louisiana High School in 1960. Bernice, Louisiana has 1,350 people. I said, well, what happened when you went to Grambling? He said, when I went to Grambling, Coach Robinson took me on the field. He said, I saw a guy who was 6'5", 250 pounds, who ran from one sideline to the other, hit anything that moved. He said, "That was Buck Buchanan." He said, "I looked out there and there was a guy bigger than me, 6'9", 300 pounds then. That was Ernie Ladd." I said, "So what?" He said, I said, "Coach Rob, I'm going to play basketball." To know Willis is to love him. I love you, Willis. All of the essential elements of my life are here tonight. My wife, Janet, who many have said is the most distinguished part of me, and our children, Jean, Don, Julie, Lynn, and their spouses, Mark and Sherry, who have given us 7 beautiful grandchildren, and my brother, Phil, my oldest brother, 86 years young, is with me tonight. I want to thank my players, Governor Ehrlich, especially for coming tonight, my friends from high school and college and my professional life, my coaches, and above all, the wonderful and dedicated staff of the National Football Foundation who have done more for me and for this game than most would ever expect. I thank you all for sharing my passion for this game. Since our founding in 1947, it has been the common bonds forged around this great game that have ensured its success. Football generates emotion like no other sport, especially for those who play it. It's a stirring experience that one never forgets, building bonds that last a lifetime. And you see it here tonight. As Dr. Robert Kayat said last year in accepting this award, it is football that provides so many of us our defining moment. On the cover of tonight's dinner journal, you see another example of those bonds. You see the latest addition to our magnificent Hall of Fame in South Bend, Indiana, a statue of Colonel Earl Red Blake, surrounded by reliefs of fellow Hall of Famers. Colonel Blake created the Scholar Athlete Program. Colonel Blake donated his own funds to fund the early scholarships. Tonight, one of the Colonel's greatest players, Bob Anderson, will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I am reminded of the comments of another of Coach Blake's great players, a Hall of Famer in his own right. He's sitting in the back of the room, Doug Kenna. When he once described this game, he said, and I thought it was so different and beautiful, it's the cool breezes, the fall colors, whether they be gold, red, orange, or brown, this crisp air, the clear nights. Add to this the sound of marching bands and the roar of stadiums throughout the land. It's college football, something uniquely American. And each fall, whenever and wherever it is played, the experience teaches values, discipline, team play, dedication, courage, and love of each other. Personally, I look back at my mentors and coaches, starting with an older brother who gave me my first football and walked me into high school, sat down with the guidance counselor, picked out Latin, math, and science. There was no doubt that I, one of 5 boys, was going to be the first in my family to go to college. To a head coach from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, who when I was 16 years old, in his rough, gruff voice, asked me, "How'd you like to go to Princeton?" He could have said XYZ, I would have said sure. Being raised in Lawrenceville, just down the road from Princeton, he had waited years to find the right kid, perhaps to send there. Fortunately for me, I happened to be that guy. To a coach that many in this room remember, Coach of the Year in 1965, who taught me how to win, Tom Cahill. Tom Cahill coached me at the manliest school. Tom Cahill, we had 28 players from all over the country, and they were good players. That year, we beat the Syracuse freshmen, the Colgate freshmen, and sorry for the rest of you Army guys in this room, on a Friday afternoon against an imposing squad of almost 100-plus plebes in Mikey Stadium, we shut them out 12-0. Tom Cahill was a great guy. To my college coach, Charlie Caldwell, who was called by Bear Bryant one of the three great coaches in America, along with Bud Wilkinson and Bobby Dodd. Charlie Caldwell was National Coach of the Year in 1950, inducted into the College Hall of Fame in 1961. He led Princeton to incredible success, undefeated seasons back-to-back, the longest winning streak in the country. And he looked at me when I was 17 years old, through those glasses and those penetrating eyes, and he said, "It's not about the next 4 years, Bob. It's about the next 40 years of your life." That was college. To his assistant coach who succeeded him upon his death, Dick Coleman, inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1990. Gentle, scholarly, caring, talented, who talked me into the coaching profession. And then to Bob Blackman, 1987 Hall of Fame inductee whose staff I joined at Dartmouth when I really learned about the game and the organization and the intricacies of offense. He was great. We had great players, the likes of Murray Bowden, Hall of Famer from last year. And sitting next to me for those 3 years was a young coach. And we've been friends for 40 years. He not only became an excellent football coach, but one of the chief administrators in athletics in the country, Jake Krauthammer, who, believe it or not, recommended me for this job to lead the National Football Foundation. And then there's John Toner, the legendary athletics director and football coach, 1986 recipient of this award, who invited me to Storrs, Connecticut to interview for a job. We had the greatest snowstorm in New England in 20 years. I spent 3 days in John Toner's house with his 5 kids, his wife Claire, and his mother-in-law, Mrs. Barkley. And Mrs. Barkley liked me, John. So did your kids. And believe it or not, he had no choice but to hire me. But I like to think, John, it was destiny that really, of your distinguished American sensibilities, that made that decision. And believe me, people who know John Toner over the last 30 years, your sensibilities have certainly affected the lives of a lot of people. John Toner. As you see, it has been my good fortune, as many of you in this room, coaches, can relate, to be in contact with the best in the game, great men, true leaders, who understood football's unique ability to strengthen young people. And I, like many of you, have attempted to return the favor. These bonds relate directly to this award. In accepting it in 1993, Dick Kazmaier, 1966 Hall of Famer, and the greatest name in Princeton football history, noted that in order for the game of college football to continue to flourish, it would require guidance from organizations with the commitment and dedication like the National Football Foundation. And in 1995, distinguished American Hall of Fame coach from Nebraska, and now Congressman Tom Osborne, echoed a similar sentiment, urging private organizations like the Foundation to play a larger role in turning our country around, particularly for at-risk kids. In 1998, we, the Foundation, answered these men. With the support of our chairman, John Hanson, on our board, the formation committed $300,000 for 3 years to an innovative concept developed by board member and Hall of Famer Alex Kroll called Play It Smart. Play It Smart is a mentoring program designed to take a player's passion for the sport and transform it into a force greater good in their lives. Utilizing an academic coach trained at Springfield College and put in a school to work exclusively with the football team at least 3 days a week, all year round, we had modest expectations. Maybe we could get these kids off the street. Maybe we can get them to go to school. Maybe we can get them to graduate and get a job. In 6 short years, the program has exploded. With the help of individual donors, many in this room, the NFL and the NFL's Players Association, and most recently the Department of Education, next year Play It Smart will reach more than 14,000 student athletes in more than 170 schools. And the data shows that the Play It Smart participants, 81% of the seniors enroll in college, 97% of them graduate, 85% take PSAT, SAT, and ACT tests, and their average team scores are higher than the regular students in their school. Besides that, in 2003-2004, these Play It Smart kids volunteered over 25,000 hours to community service. Yes, we are uniquely positioned as an organization. Our ability to attract over 13,000 volunteers through our chapters. I pay tribute to those volunteers. They are the heartline of our organization. They give us credibility. To be honored by those in one's calling is one of life's crowning pleasures, and I accept this honor with great pride and gratitude. But let me add, however, that my selection is not about an individual. It's about you, our heroes, the Hall of Famers. The kids I like to call the good in the game, the scholar athletes. The special awardees, remarkable people of great accomplishment. The organization, the foundation, promoting the game, preserving the history. And the game itself, criticized and rightfully so at times, still breeds integrity, leadership, confidence, and friendships. And it is through those friendships, through those bonds that we are here tonight and why we've come back each year for 47 years. One of the most important leaders and respected men in the game of football today, Hall of Fame coach and my friend, Grant Teff, recently said, "There is nothing like the National Football Foundation. It emphasizes football like no other. Coaches look to it, they admire it. It's the heartbeat of the country." So, in closing, I ask all of you here tonight, coming together as we do with this common bond, with these friendships, to commit yourself and assure that this game continues to endure on playing fields across America. Thank you very much.